So we ended part 2 with this video of Lee, and he told me that he was buying me and him, this house. And I have found out that he also has said to Crystal and Katie that he has gone to view and is buying the same house for them, as well as the one that he sent me as well. So we all have the same house sent to us that he's apparently buying for us to move into and get married and have a family. So I want to say I'm so excited right now that Crystal Janky herself is joining us on the podcast, so you can all hear everything from her own voice, and it's very, very exciting. I'm very happy to have her on it. Bless her. She is the most beautiful human, and I can't wait for you guys to hear her side of it.
Yeah, Crystal's actually going to join us and tell us, like, literally first hand all about it. So, should we get it on?
Hey, Crystal, and hey, Chaos Corner. Thank you so much, Crystal, for coming on to our podcast type thing that we are doing about Lee. I'm very thankful for you coming on here, and obviously I'm so sorry for what you had to go through, and thank you again for coming forward to me and supporting, well, both of us supporting each other with what we've both had to go through, which is both not nice, but it's nice that we get to speak, and that, yeah, we're on this right now, and we can actually prove what this man's about and what happened to you. And yeah, just to get your side of the story, I just think it would be really good to get out there, because I feel like it just got brushed over a little bit. So yeah, thank you so much.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for keeping me in the loop and reaching out to me, because honestly, I didn't really want to talk about it much because it's embarrassing, but I feel like it's good for other people to know. And I definitely wanted to just throw it out there, like how we met and all those things and how I was involved. And so we met back in March of 2025 on Instagram. We talked very quickly every day, voice notes and videos. He was like, I need to get you my WhatsApp. He would call twice a day, FaceTime every day. And I think the reason why Alana never found out is because it was when you were sleeping. And, it was very strategic. Hey, I got to call you at this time because I'm busy or whatever. I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. There was no hesitancy. He always answered when I called, no issues. But how I got involved, it started off with just like personal, like, oh, what do you do? That kind of stuff. And he told me that, he was a part owner of like a hospitality chain. He was in family banking and mining, and had his PhD in engineer science, and he was a mechanical pneumatic weapon arm dealer and a weapon supplier, and all these things. I have a diplomatic passport. We're going to travel the world together. I was born in England. You're the best person I know. Things happen for a reason, blah, 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 all that crap. And so, anyway, but that's long story, kind of what, that's what he told me he did. And then he was telling me about his Aura Energy company, and he saw that I was talking to him about my business and how I recently got scammed. And this is what's ironic about it. And he said, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. If you don't mind me asking, how much did you get scammed for?" And I told him, and he told me about his business, Aura Energy or whatever. So I had someone look into that, and they're like, "Well, it is a business, and he is a real person." And then we talked all the time. He met my parents. He met my sisters on all through this, like face chat. And he was supposed to come to Texas several times, and I just felt like it wasn't the right timing. And he showed me, he booked my flight to Dubai to come see him, and I just canceled. I'm like, I'm not going. I have a condo in Vegas, and that's when he was going to meet me. And this is kind of when I found out about Alana. My sister's friend's like an investigator, and she looked into it, and she's like, Crystal, do not meet him in Vegas. I said, what do you mean? He's like, coming tomorrow. He's like, he just proposed to someone a week ago. And I thought, I was started laughing. I'm like, no, he didn't. What are you talking about? We talked about marriage. He showed us the house that he bought for us. He wants me to move to Dubai and work from home. And he's going to help me pay myself back for this other scam that I was in. And he convinced me that there's good people in the world. This is what he said. I'm going to convince you there's good people in the world, honey. I'm so sorry you got scammed. I'm going to help you. And he literally sat down and did the math with me. He's like, okay. And he's like, and I was like, well, tell me more about your company. Cause he's always like on the phone. He's like, well, this person's trying to invest with me and I'm trying to, so he was always like back and forth about his business anyway. And so he showed me, we signed an acknowledgement through a notary about my transaction. So my name, his name, it was notarized. So I thought I was investing into his oral company. So on August the 8th, I'm looking at the sheet that I did, in case you see me looking this way. So on August the 8th, I sent him 50,000 US dollars with the understanding that it was going to grow to 225. Through his company shares. And so he had proof. He sent me all this stuff. I have all this stuff on video of him verbally talking about it. And so I saw the math. He was showing me how it was growing, and he would tell me all these meetings. And anyway, and then on August 20th, I sent 35,000 US dollars. It was like a transfer bond for this growth fund. And again, I was even on the phone with one of his attorneys. So clearly, it might have been a friend or someone he paid to show anyway. And then on September the 4th, I sent another 25,000. September the 8th, 41,000. September 23rd, 18,000. So it's a total of 169,000 US dollars. Yes, I'm very smart, but clearly I'm stupid but the reason why I trusted and believed in him is because he was showing me how it was growing. So like he had the computer up, he flipped it around. He said, this is what your money's going to, and this is what's going to come out. I'm going to send you the certificates and the certifications. And so he had the factual stuff. Granted, my attorney, I should have listened to because I got scammed recently. And I'm like, no, this guy is actually trying to help me. He literally messed me up financially bad. I took out my Roth IRA. I took out some long-term savings because I was convinced of what I was going to get in return for him. So granted, this is all before I found out about Alana. And then when I found out Alana, I was like, there's no way this is true. So once I was in Vegas and I told him do not come, he was freaking out. He was calling me every 5 minutes, have all these missed calls, voicemails, answer your phone. What are you talking about? And then I just said, you just proposed to someone. Like, what do you mean? Like, and then I sent him the picture. He's like, that's AI. That's not me. And I was like, okay. And then my sister's friend clicked on Alana, send me this stuff. And I was like, I need to tell this girl. Cause I mean, clearly she's a real person and I was totally like caught off guard. And that's when I reached out to her. And I appreciate you even listening to me because as a female, there's a lot of crazy women in this world. And it's probably, I can only imagine initially how you felt about some random girl on social media reaching out to you. Anyway, so long story short, yeah, like I literally thought we had an online relationship. We talked twice a day, every day since March 2025. And the same times every day. If I would message him, if there wasn't really much delay. I mean, fortunately, I'm busy. I own my own business and I don't talk to him like it was literally twice a day every day, even on the weekends. Granted, he would say, hey, honey, I'm going to be gone for a couple hours. I'm going on the water. And he would send me pictures of him on the water. And, I'm going to my dad's and, I'm going to go look at our house. And he would send me all this stuff. But I mean, it just caught me off guard and by surprise. And so that's kind of my part of the story. And, his ex-wife or whatever she is, Dina, like I've talked to her about it and she's like, run, say, this is after I found out about Alana. Cause I was like, what is going on? Like, this is too much. And then I started digging more and I'm like, I don't even want to know anymore. I just want to figure out how I can get my money back if possible and just let it be. And even after that, he's like, don't worry, I'm still going to give you your money. And then he's like, no. And all that's a lie. And he's just a compulsive liar. So, I mean, that's kind of to sum it up. And so I reached out to the police department here. They put in a police report. And then the same police report I forwarded to the Dubai, I forwarded to their email and I tried to call. I haven't heard anything. But I sent it twice and that's kind of it. And my attorneys were like, Crystal, I told you not to do that. There's not a whole lot we could do because it's a different country. Once it's sent, it's sent. Same thing, my bank. They're like, once you sign off that wires, that person, you're done. And so it's just a hard lesson that I learned, but it sucks, but I mean, I guess the whole point of this is, trust your gut instinct, because my gut instinct was like, this sounds too good to be true. And I just kind of was like, no, he's saying all the right things. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. And he was such a liar. He knew the details of like my son's name, my niece's name, my mom's name. So he must have had me like in a file on his phone or something. And he would ask specifically, how's Alea doing? And that's my niece. Does she start, like very detailed things. I was just very shocked of how much he can remember. Well, I'm sure he didn't remember. He just kind of went back to his notes, but it was very interesting how he literally persuaded me that we were going to move in together. And we even looked, I said, well, I don't know about moving to Dubai full time. We were looking at houses together in Austin, which is like a couple hours from where I live. And he sent me links. He's like, see if we can get a showing from here and I'll fly down next weekend and we can go look at it. And so he went to the extent of doing stuff like that. And I'm like, if this guy wasn't real, why would he spend that much time looking up stuff, sending me things? It was just mind blowing, to be honest with you. And it's just, I look back and I'm like, man, these were all red flags, but obviously he's a professional at this, and he would call me when he knew my mom was going to be at my clinic. And he's like, how's my mother-in-law doing? And so my mom even wrote him a note when I was supposed to meet him in New York. And she gave him, like, it was a gift. She's like, give this to Lee for his birthday. I mean, like, not for his birthday, but just give him as a gift. And so like my mom, it was just so bad, like how deeply like I fell for it, because I'm usually pretty darn smart, but he definitely convinced me. I knew his birthday was in March, but or was that, no, it was Christmas. She got him a gift for Christmas. It wasn't his birthday. And yeah, anyway, long story short, that this happened way before Christmas, but yeah, it was just very mind blowing. Like I'm so, yeah.
It's so crazy that you say that it was in March, because actually that was something that I actually am new to finding out just now. Like, because that's obviously when we got together. So we like met sort of end of April, March. So,
Mhm.
like, to the fact that actually that was going on the whole time. And
Yeah.
that just goes to show that that's like every time he must have left to go to, as he called work, that must have been his work was scamming people. But I think
Yeah.
he's like in the Emirates Towers or,
Yes.
like somewhere that, like, and obviously I'm not going to go and check. Like, I'm at work
Right.
myself, like, I'm busy.
Right.
Like, you just check, you just trust what your partner's doing.
Right.
As you say,
Exactly.
he's confident and shows you all the paperwork and stuff. And, oh, look, I've just had this deal, and, da 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 da. And it's just
Yes.
so, it is like, it is very professionally done. And
Right.
because,
Right.
as you say, he love bombs so hard and
Oh
he
yeah, for
finds out
sure.
so much. Like, and I think, like what you say, taking notes,
Oh
like,
yeah.
he definitely is there taking notes of like
Mhm.
everything so he can like go back on it. So it you feel so special.
Yes, I know. And he even went to the extreme. He was telling me about, his grandfather was number two in the IRA and he raised him. He was a good man. And his mom, he's like, my mom's going to love you. And like, he called his mom and told him all about me. And it was just like, why would you do that? Why would you get your family involved on something that you're never going to pursue? Like, it was so bad. I was just so shocked at the amount of stuff that he did that I look back, I'm like, wow, like he's literally a professional. Like it's scary that he can do all that, because he showed me on his computer how things were growing and stuff like that. And clearly that must have been his account. I don't know, but it was so bad. So bad. And then when I saw the pictures of the engagement, I literally started laughing. I was like, wow, because 2 weeks before that we were supposed to get together and I was just like, I'm too busy. And I think that's why he knew, like, he liked that I was busy because I wasn't constantly calling him, but he knew how to work me. He knew exactly what to say, what to do. And it's just very sad, to be honest. It's very shocking, but I've been kind of trying to just put this behind me and move on, but and the more I listen to it, I'm like, man, like something needs to come out of this because it's so bad.
Yeah, agreed. And
Yeah,
I'm sure.
he is absolutely a professional at what he does, because it's the same MO with every single person he scams.
Mhm.
So if it depends on the person, so if that person's into, say, the Christian religion, all of a
Uh-huh.
sudden, so is he.
Yes.
So when he scammed a person from Dubai, he was a Muslim and a very good practicing Muslim. So he
Oh, wow.
morphed them, yeah. So he
Yeah.
morphs them. There's a video of him that I can share with you, and it's him reciting some. I don't want to offend anyone by saying this, but I think it's like a Muslim prayer. It might not be,
Yeah.
but he's like reciting it and celebrating the holiday. And I don't know what their holidays are called, but
It's
he's
like
he's he's
ease.
like he's like acting like he's a really good Muslim person. But then at the same time that he posted that video, I know that he was sending videos to a guy in the States who was into Christian religion
Christian.
and
Yeah.
saying that he's a God-fearing Christian. But
Yeah.
Yes,
at the
he would
same
tell
Yeah.
me.
time,
He would tell me the same thing because I am a Christian, and he would say the same thing. Honey, we got us Christians have to stick together. God brought us together. It was by fate. You know, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm gonna show you there's good people in this world.
11:11.
11:11. I literally look. I have 11:11 on my.
Oh no.
did you do
Yes,
that for Lou?
no, I did that
Oh,
like for me. And I told him 11:11 was my thing, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's my thing." And so he would text me at
no.
not both 11:11s, but one 11:11 a day. His time, he would text me,
Yeah.
and
Me too. He
you
must
know,
have had an alarm. Send to
Oh, Alana,
Alana, Crystal. I
this
wonder
is
how many
where
people got that.
this is where the 11:11 has come from. It has come
Yeah.
from. It started with Crystal because I did ask Dina, and he never mentions 11:11 with Dina ever. So the 11:11's come from Crystal, and
Yeah.
he
And then
used it with
obviously I was
you.
the same, like, because he,
It was the
like,
same time.
yeah, like, because I'm very much like, oh, 11:11, like, as
yes,
soon as we started talking, I'd be like, oh, 11:11, make a wish. And
yes,
then, like, yeah,
that's so funny.
You know,
I'm like,
I have never heard of 11:11 before in my life until the whole Katie and Lee thing. I didn't even know that was a thing.
yeah.
yeah,
My
Never heard of it before.
yeah, it's
my new wish isn't coming true just yet, but I think it's starting to.
oh my
Oh.
gosh.
I think we
But
can all guess what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can guess.
It's
um,
so bad. It's so bad.
It really
Oh,
is, and it's really that bad. And and I know it's embarrassing because he makes you look like an idiot. But then, just if you look on the face of things, he makes his victims look like the idiots for sending money. But
right.
you don't understand the work that he puts in behind the scenes, the way he goes about it to convince you to like
Yeah.
be that safe, feel safe with him, that
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
just end up believing everything that he says. Because if he didn't do that, because I know that he does that with everyone, because forgot to say, Crystal, I haven't been scammed by Lee, but I've been investigating him
Mhm.
with all the scams that he's been doing, and trust me, you're probably about number 53 that I know of.
yeah.
Wow, that's
It's
horrible.
crazy.
Honestly,
So
it's
that's it. You
ridiculous.
can't feel like the only person in this. And obviously, like, as well, remember, like, we've been scammed in love as well as money.
Right.
Yeah.
And, money comes and goes, but feelings are, it's when you feel for someone and you trust someone, like, if anything, sometimes it's the harder part of it.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But there was a
Well,
couple
Yeah.
of things that
Well,
I
it's,
did want
it's
to ask you.
emotional abuse, isn't it? It's
It,
emotional abuse.
it really
Oh,
is.
absolutely, yeah. But there was a
Yeah.
couple of things I wanted to ask you because you did say that you spoke to his attorney.
Hmm.
What was the accent like of the person? Was it male or female?
It was Mel, and it was an accent. I'll have to go back and look. Well, you know what's funny? He blocked me on all social media, obviously. So but I still have like most of our conversation. Well, I have all our conversations through WhatsApp. But which was kind of weird. He phoned me in on a conversation through some guy on WhatsApp that was his attorney, and I have his voice on a video. So I'll have to go back and look. But it was if I had to guess, maybe a British accent.
Yeah. Was
Um,
his name Peter by any chance?
yes, Peter. Oh my gosh, Peter. Yes,
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Yes, Peter. Yes.
that's his
Um,
dad.
how did you know that? I mean, I clearly
Uh,
use that for
because
somebody else.
Sorry.
Peter. Yes.
it's his dad.
Okay. That is so scary. Wow.
You're the second person that has said they've spoken to his attorney, and his name's Peter.
Yes, it is Peter. It is definitely Peter.
So we suspected that it might have been his dad, but
Yeah.
because this other person was from the States, they didn't know the British, like the types of British accents from, the city. So he didn't know, and we didn't have his dad's accent. So if you've actually got his voice, that would be very, very interesting
Yeah.
to
And I'll
hear,
go. Yeah, I can
just
definitely go.
to listen to see who it is.
Yeah. No, I have it. I can share it with you when we get off of here. I'll just have to go all the way back to, it was early on, so it was probably like April or May. But anyway, I'll go back and look, and I can send you the videos. It's like a voice note.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that would be
fine.
so interesting.
It will
Yeah.
So
do, because
interesting.
we've suspected it, because there was a couple of women from this year, wasn't there, Alana?
Yeah,
That Lee was trying to, well, he did scam money off
we
one
did
of them.
scam one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but he sent his dad's bank details for the money to be sent to. So
Wow.
I know, so we were just like, does his dad actually know what's going on? Because there is a chance that he doesn't. But if
Right.
he has been pretending to be a solicitor on the phone, so that's an attorney to you. If he has been pretending, to be an attorney, then he's complicit in what's
Right.
going on. So it's not so much like he's an innocent person that
Right.
is getting money paid into his account that he doesn't know where it's coming from, kind of thing. But if he's
hmm
Yeah.
pretending to be an attorney on the phone, it's a completely different story.
Yes, that's crazy. Yeah. And
So
so,
crazy.
okay.
I did also. I've put in. Are you using your phone or laptop to talk to us?
I'm looking at my laptop for like the financial thing that we did, but I'm talking to you on my phone.
Only because I've put in the WhatsApp group. Sort of like
A
it's a
house.
slideshow of the house, and I was
Is it the
interested.
same house?
Oh,
I
here,
just
let me see if I can get let me see. Let me get off of this for a second and go look at it. Let's see what's up.
only because I'm interested to
Uh,
see whether.
yes, that's the exact same house.
Wow. He's done the same. He sent that same house to me, you, and
Oh my
Kate.
God.
Yeah,
He's
he
so
sent that to Katie.
yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "There, this is the house. Like, what this is like." He's like sending me it. Oh, we're gonna. This is where we're gonna live.
So did he send you a video of him? He recorded himself. Or no, he didn't record himself. I was on FaceTime with him driving to that house. And he's like, all right, honey, I'm pulling up and I'm meeting the realtor. I'll call you afterwards. I'll let you know how it goes. He was driving in his car to that house. And he actually tried to call me while he was in there, but I was with the patient. And he's like, honey, hurry and answer. I got to show you the house. And I'm like, okay. And I was with the patient. I didn't call him right back. But dang it. But that's so funny because that is the house.
Yeah, he's used that house for
That
so
is
many people.
mad.
Yeah. No,
He's such a dick.
why it was convincing is because he like live called me while he was driving there, and then he pulled up, and then he's like, I'll call you back or whatever. And so that part was real, him driving up to it, but him that obviously wasn't going to buy that
Oh,
house.
he used to send me videos of him standing outside what was called his house.
Oh gosh.
But it wasn't actually his house.
Did he tell you like I just sold this house on the Palms and now I'm going to buy this one, and
Yeah,
then yeah, the same crap. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All the things that he was saying to you about that he owns shares in a resort company. So that
Yes.
would be the Blue Diamond Resorts that it's a lie that he tells everyone.
Mm-hmm.
What else was it that he said?
He said that he owned Aura, which is he basically what he told me is he's like the Elon Musk of Dubai. So he was formulating this car, and the car is going to be, it's like a Tesla there or whatnot. And he showed me basically the website where Dina was still on it. And he's like, she's not going to be part of it anymore. I want you to be part of the company. And I clicked on the link. I saw the website. I'm like, okay, this is a legit website. This is a legit company. And he said, yes, honey, yes. And he was like, she's still kind of part of it. I had to grant her that. But she's stepping
He like
down.
owned part of the deeds or something and was like one of the chairmen or something
Yes,
along those lines, right? Because
yes,
that's what he used to
yes.
tell me as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, she's still part of it,
Part of
but
the yeah, I can't remember what he called her, but she was part of the
yeah,
uh
like a president or something like that of the
yeah,
company.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And that until she's paid out, and
yeah,
it launches because she won't come off it because she knows how much it will be worth and blah de
right.
blah de blah.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but he's just crazy. Like he was like he has one sister, and he's like, I told my sister about you, and I'm gonna schedule it so when you're here, then you can meet my sister. And I'm like, he knows I'm a family person. He knows I'm a Christian. He knows I work hard. And he just used those things like my dad knows about you, my mom loves you. She has her own book, and he was just on, and I'm just like, wow.
What did he say about his mum?
His head of his mom's writes book on like the stars, the moon, the autometry, or what do you call it? Autometry or
Astronomy.
something.
Yeah.
Astronomy.
So
Astronomy. Yeah.
his mum, I don't believe, has wrote a book. Have you
No,
ever
but
read that?
someone's written a book. Someone else has written a book about his mum and like how she was born a hermaphrodite and got left in a. I mean, I've read part of it. So, and how she got left outside of like somewhere in a box, and like it said, free baby, and then a Chinese family adopted her, and then she moved to China by Mr. and Mrs. Chang. Like but it's not her that wrote it, it's someone else.
Wow. Yeah. He told me she writes on astrology, and his sister's an Aries, and he's a Pisces, and he's like, my mom would love you because she's into that. She has her own book, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, random lie, but
Right.
okay.
She doesn't have her own book. She's a medium psychic. Well,
Mm.
that's what she does as a job. Like,
Oh,
she's like a medium. Is that what it is? A medium psychic?
that
Something
makes
along
A
sense.
those
psychic
lines, yeah.
medium?
But it's
Yeah.
funny because you say like that you like have like that his mum knows about you and stuff, and then like she would sit on the phone to me on a WhatsApp, video call, and
Yeah.
be like, oh, I always knew that he would end up with an English person with a name beginning with A, and have you got a butterfly tattooed on your arm? Quite obviously, you could go onto my profile and see that I've got and most people my age have a butterfly tattooed somewhere on them.
That's so funny because that's just literally what these scammers do. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like you go into these, the people that you pay for these readings. They
Right.
yeah.
always like they'll say something dead generalized, and you'll go, I'm thinking of the letter P, and it's a man, and then straight away someone's always got someone in the family that's died, with like the letter P in the family, and they're like,
Oh
oh my
yeah, for
god,
sure.
and that's
I
Yeah,
what they
know.
do.
It's so
yeah.
bad. I'm like, I don't know how he sleeps at night knowing he screwed up so many
He
people.
doesn't. He spends the whole night up messaging you, and then this
Scamming.
whole day spent with me.
I'm
He
like,
barely
how?
ever slept.
He never slept. I mean, that's so bad.
Because I
So
used to wake up and he would be sat on the sofa, like he would have left the room. Because like if he was texting next to me, I'd be like, "Can you stop?" Or like, "Can you turn the screen down?" or something. Because like I'm actually trying to sleep, and I'm a really light sleeper. So he would go and sit in the front room, but I think he would be loud on purpose because
yeah,
I'd ask him to leave the room. So
yeah,
like he was obviously wanting me to leave the room, like. And like so he would be able to actually message you properly, and then I'd go out at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be like, "Are
yeah.
you still here?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, I've got these major trades going on in America, and and I've got like billions coming through." And then he would be sending me screenshots of all the
Oh
trades, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
I've just earned like 3 billion, like or 13 million in 24 hours. Like look how amazing this is. Look, like
yeah.
none of it's. No, none of it was true. It was just that he's sitting there
Yeah.
messaging people.
Can I just ask one thing? So I was reading through some of the messages with Alana, and one thing that I did notice is that, he gets really like beggy, for money and like desperate because he wanted you to send him more money. So he
Yes.
wanted you to send him, I think was it 92,000 after he'd already took a lot of money off you anyway. Um, did you not twig that he desperately needed money at that point? Because he says to you, like, can you just send it to me and I'll give you it back in 2 days? I need it for like the London exchange or something like that. I don't know what the full thing was, but did you get any red flags at that point?
I think that if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the last time I sent something because I'm like, well, if you need it so bad and you're telling me you have lots of money here and there, like, why do you need me to send it? Like, you
Exactly.
asked, and I started questioning him, and he's like, honey, just send it for me because I can't, then I have to fly to the UK and get money from there and do that. I'm like, there's so many wiring services now. Like, that doesn't sound right. I'm starting to feel like this is not you're not being honest with me. And he's like, I
Yeah.
need you to send it, honey. I love you so much. Please send it to me. When I go to the UK, I'll transfer it back. And I just was like, no, like, absolutely not. And so, and then I pushed away and I'm like, and then I started looking more into it. And then of course he's like, never mind. I figured it out. Don't worry about it. But thank you for being there for me. And that kind of stuff. Then he flipped it around. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, he's done that with you quite a lot with me, Alana. Flip things round onto you and make you feel guilty for questioning him.
Yes. And he would make me feel guilty. Like, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
why do you need it from me? Like, you tell me you have thousands of dollars and you're going to pay for this stuff for us and you're asking me for money, you know?
Yeah, it's wild how he
Yeah.
Very
manages
mad.
to get away with it. It really, it blows my mind of how crafted he is. He's mastered his craft on how to scam people. He knows exactly what to say. He knows exactly how to act.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I guarantee you, there's so many more out there, especially women.
Yeah. It's so bad. And
It
I was
was
going
too
to,
scared to come forward.
yeah, I was going to show you this thing. Let me see if I can flip it. So he wrote me this. How do I flip it? I was trying to see how I can flip it so I can show you. No, I'm not good at this. Anyway, I have this. I don't know if you can see it. It's a letter. I don't know how to flip the phone. I don't know how to do this. Let me see. Anyway, it's a letter. Basically, it's a proposal for shares for $2.5 million in this Aura Worldwide Holding investment, and that him and I both signed. And it showed. Let me see, like his stamp. Yeah, I mean, it was just like convincing to me. And now, like back, I'm like, oh my gosh, like he must have used the same thing, just changed the numbers for
That's
all of
right.
his.
That's exactly. He doesn't even change the numbers. I guarantee if I pull up your certificate and compare it to the ones that he sent Nick in the US, I
Mhm.
bet you it's exactly the same
It
certificate
probably
numbers
is.
and just
Yep,
change the names on them.
yep, it had to have been. Yeah, he's just. Anyway, yeah, it's just mind blowing to be honest.
It's sad, but I'm glad that you've kept strong and you've just kept going, and like hats off to you, and like both of us, like I think as like victims of like some sort of abuse, like different types but in the same types at the same time, like I really admire you as well, because like we can't dwell on these things, and as much as
Right.
it's easy to dwell on things, like it's nice to try and just be strong and say, okay, like, I've learnt my lesson, and you just move on with your life.
Yep.
And it's not a lot of people can actually do that, which is like really sad, because sometimes it happens to the people that can't do that
Right.
and don't get over it. And it's just, to see you thriving, and you look absolutely amazing, and just like, to see like how like happy and just beautiful you are. It's even inspiring to me, to be honest. Like,
Oh
it
no,
really
me
is.
too. When I look at you, I'm like, oh, I can only imagine how you feel being the other person who actually got proposed to, and to
Yeah.
see you do it to someone else after you.
Yeah.
wow. Like, and then I see you, I'm like, you're so beautiful inside, outside, physically. And I love how you're using it for fuel just to be better as an individual. Because there are some people, yes, it's a mentally that messes you up, right?
Yeah.
But we got to learn from it and just do the best that we can. And so I definitely admire you, Alana, for, keep going and try not to let it get to you. And so it's weird how this happened, even
Yeah.
Katie, when I reached out to Katie and I told her, you need to run. This has happened to multiple people. He doesn't love you. He doesn't know you. And she was all team girl at first.
Yeah.
All team girl at first.
All
And then
team girl.
she flipped it around and she goes, well, I love my husband and I'm going to trust him. And he says you're crazy and you weren't anything to him. And I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? Take it for what you want. But she was all team girl because I even showed her the message of him wanting to fly me there. And her and I were going to set him up and be at the same place at the same time. And she was on board
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Until one, he has a travel ban. He wasn't going to show up. Two, like he even showed me he was booked my flight, or he was like, look, honey, I promise you I'm going to make this right to you. And showed me him booking the flight or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not going. I don't care if you're booking me the flight. You're a liar. He's like, I want to see you face to face. I want to apologize. I need to give you your money back. I shouldn't have done that. But all this was on, live like this. I wish it was a recording so that I can prove that. It was all just FaceTime stuff that he did. He's like, I shouldn't have done that. I really do love you, and blah blah blah. Even after all this, and I'm like, I can't. This is too much. But anyway, yeah, like I haven't been following them. I don't know what's going on with their situation. I really don't care, but yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I'd love to see those messages from Katie, though, if you can send that into our
Yeah,
group.
yes, I can definitely send it to you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't feel
Because
sorry for Katie in any sort of way. She's exactly like Lee.
Yes,
She really is. They are a match made in heaven. They really are.
that's
it
wild.
it just seems it just seems odd when there's just a lot of proof and everything. So, and I know people say, oh, she's ignoring the media. How do you ignore so much in the media? I mean,
She
it's
doesn't. She knows
everywhere.
exactly what he's like. And she's
Yeah.
just quite happy to stay with him because it gets her publicity. And she earns money from publicity. That's her job. She
Yeah.
doesn't have any other job. She earns money from publicity, and she doesn't care if that's good or bad. As long as people are talking about her, she's happy, and she doesn't care how. So she's quite willing to stay married to him as long as she's getting money for it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you say, like there are many people doing that as well, without naming names, but there are, we all know a few of them, faking pregnancies and doing this and doing that. And it is really sad because, yes, clicks are clicks, but then at the same time, there's other people getting, really affected by this, and how would you actually feel if someone were to take their life or to, do something stupid because you've affected them so much?
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
they wouldn't care. They
Yeah,
honestly wouldn't. They would sleep soundly in bed at night, have a nice deep sleep and not give two flying hoots about who they've hurt or what, because it doesn't affect them. And
yeah,
there's people like that everywhere. But yeah, we're on a mission. We're going to make sure that Lee can't scam anyone by just ensuring that everybody knows about him.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
as long as people are aware, and people are aware that his company's fake and things like that, then I doubt he will be able to scam anyone else. The only downside is that we're mainly the UK. So my fear is that he's going to target someone else from the States. He's going to, because the States is huge,
yeah,
or someone from a different country that doesn't really see the UK news.
right.
So
Mm,
we're working on that.
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, again, thank you. I don't know if you've got anything else that you wanna ask or you wanna add, but I feel like that's covered a lot of
Yeah,
topics,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I know
No, I've
that
loved
it's
him.
not easy to talk about. And don't want to bring it all back. Keep thriving and keep being beautiful and strong.
Well, thank you. You too. I'm very proud of you. And yeah, if y'all
Yeah.
need anything else, I mean, you can reach back out. But yeah, we'll see what comes out of this.
Thank
Yes.
you so much, Crystal. Honestly, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us.
For
Yeah, thank
sure.
you. Thank you
Yes.
so much. It was lovely to see you, and I'm sure we will speak very, very soon as we do check in on each other.
Yes. All right. Well, y'all have a great night. And I'll look for
You
the
too.
voicemail of Peter and I'll send you the messages from Katie.
Wonderful.
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
See you,
so much,
Crystal.
Crystal. Sending lots
Bye.
of love.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
It doesn't even stop with Crystal, as we know. Long before Katie come along, Lee'd actually scammed quite a few well-known celebrities as well. And unfortunately, they don't want their story to be made public due to the negative publicity it'll probably attract them. And I have to respect that. So there's loads of things that I just simply
Yeah.
can't share, even though I'd love to.
I was going to say it's so hard because there is so much to like that we could talk about. Even again, what I've been sent, but it's very difficult because we're asked not to to
Yeah.
speak about it.
And trust goes a
But
long way, and that's the thing.
a long
If
way.
you start opening your mouth or disclosing information that you've promised to somebody that you won't say, then straight away your credibility goes out the window, and then it gets around very, very quick in the
Yeah.
industry. If you're releasing details, that you're not supposed to say. And I literally, as soon as someone says to me, "Do not share this, do not mention it," or you can mention it, just don't mention me and don't send the proof, like that sort of thing, I do whatever they ask of me. And that's why I find out so much information from everyone, because I can be trusted with it.
Yeah, so like on that note, obviously there was a woman that reached out to me, and there was some voice notes that had been exchanged, and Lee was obviously scamming her. She asked for her name not to be in it, because of work reasons, but obviously he was trying to get money out of her. I think it was like it started off at about $3,000, and I know that it reduced down to like 1,500. And he was telling her that he was living off of this like pot noodle.
Oh, I remember
And
that. So that was
yeah,
months ago in the summer. So that was that woman.
yeah. And she had reached out to me and she had said like, he said that he was living off of pot noodle or whatever the noodle's called, and you know how times are sometimes, but and how he would 10x her money. And
He sounds so desperate in that voice note. I remember listening to it, like
yeah.
it's beyond
Yeah.
cringe listening to that. Like, he's desperate. He must have been starving.
Yeah. Literally, literally, and it's funny because obviously this was the time that where he had got with Kate, and she had questioned about Kate, and he sent a message saying, "Oh, that something along the lines of we'll show you anyway," where Lee had said, "Oh, my agent has been in contact with Kate's agent, and that the wedding was like basically like just to basically get him famous or whatever, or it was all like a massive stunt, and that it was all just a fake wedding, it didn't exist, because obviously he was like trying to be quite flirty with her, but she was like, oh, Lee's just like not my type." But he was so desperate. And then when he was asking for the money, it was she actually said to me that like the week after he put Kate on a flight, but though he was like, she said it must have been for her flight because obviously like the money had been sent, like the money, she didn't end up getting scammed by him. She was like, she didn't believe anything that he said, but then he started to get really angry with her as well. Like he was like shouting at her and sending her really horrible messages, you know, telling her, "Oh, just fuck off. You know, if you want to like rescue this friendship, then you would have sent me the money." Like it got quite nasty. Where as soon as like she actually wouldn't go along with it, it got so nasty. And she was like, it was actually really horrible. Like it
The
affected her
man is an absolute
mentally.
psychopath.
And yeah, like it was just, it's wild. And the fact that he was saying really horrible things about Kate, you know, like like why would I be with, you know, her? Like look at her. Like obviously just a big publicity stunt
I've heard that
and all
so
of
many
this, you
times.
know, like just being horrible. And yeah, like and then like I say, he then was very horrible to her as soon as he didn't get the money. But she reckons that the money was to fly Kate out because the week after he must have got the money from someone else.
Oh, God.
And obviously then she flew out. So like she was like, I think he was just so desperate because he went from wanting 3,000 to just like, oh no, you know, we can just do 1,500, just send it today, you know. And she just wasn't really that interested, and he was sending her like all the like the normal documents and you know everything about Aura,
Ugh.
and it's just
Who
like
gets bored of doing this, you know, saying the same old crap over and over? Because Jesus Christ, I'm bored of the same, you know, every time someone new contacts me, it's the same stuff. It's the same
yeah,
aura documents, it's the same, you know, made up share certificates, you know, that people have invested in. It's the same stuff. And he says exactly the same things to everyone. And
yeah.
surely he gets bored because Jesus Christ, it's just, oh, it's never
It's
ending.
just so scripted. And like if you actually put the documents that he sends into like chat, they come up like scam alert. You know, it's like there's loads of spelling mistakes. There's this, there's that. Like none of it actually makes any sense. And like he uses all his normal terms um in the voice notes, and it's just like it's incredible. And it leads to another woman that also came forward to me that did actually get scammed. It was out of 4,000 AED. And she actually sent the money across, and she trusted him, and he's like, "Oh, thank you so much," and you know, this is going to be great, and this is like the start of something new. Sends her loads of voice messages, sends her over all the documents, and she actually ended up doing her own investigation, and this is where it came out that Aura actually had been like dissolved, and she had sent me obviously that it had been dissolved, and this is when it got looked into a lot more, and like we started doing a little bit of a deeper search about Aura, and obviously Aura had been shut down in what was it, like November 2024, is it?
Wasn't it 23?
Maybe 23, yeah, something along those lines. And like she was like, so like straight away she started then saying like, you know, I've looked into you and I've looked into your company, and she sent him the actual proof of like the company that had been dissolved, and he was like, oh, you can think what you want kind of thing, like it's not dissolved. And you know, and then she started calling him a scammer, and then like he starts getting angry with her because she's calling him a scammer, and he's like, oh, you know, you keep saying that you're going to take it to the police, but you've called me a scammer, I've screenshot it, you know, and I'm gonna you know, like, don't be calling me that, that's not fair, you know. Then like just being horrible. And like again, play the voice notes, um and like you guys can listen to exactly what he says to her, and it's just it's wild how much he just again with those two women that have said that I could share. If you look at the similarities in the voice notes and the language that he uses and everything, like it really shows like what he actually does and what he says and how he words things, and you know, and why people, and like I said again, it is why he started going for smaller amounts, because he's more likely going to get, you know, about what's 4,000, like £1,000.
Yeah. Well,
Like he's more
he took
likely
off
going to get
Clemmy, didn't he?
£1,000 off of people.
Well, he took 1,000 off Clemmy, that I don't
Yeah.
believe he returned.
No, he didn't.
You know, so how desperate have you got to be for money that you're willing to take £1,000 from somebody who works for a newspaper that is, is she, technically a friend of his wife? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not even like a stranger. He knew that it'd go public, and he probably had every intention of paying her back with the amount that he said. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So she could write an article, a positive one, saying, actually, I invested £1,000 with Lee, and I did actually get like £3,000 back. You know what I mean? I think
But I feel like this is where like a debate on my side comes in, because then I think like, okay, there's been so much coming out that he's a scammer that like it almost is getting him fame and it's getting him clicks, and you know he's absolutely loving it. Like he used to absolutely like his idols, like people like oh, what's his name?
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, yeah, Andrew Tate, Donald Trump, you know, he loves those kind of people. He thrives off of that. So, like, and he used to say to me, like, good publicity or bad publicity, it's still publicity. It still gets you clicks and it earns you money. So, like, this is where my
To
debate
be
then
honest,
comes in
you know what
to,
though? Him and Katie lives by that, because she doesn't
yeah,
care whether it's bad publicity, good publicity. As long as she's in the paper, she does not care. Like,
yeah,
she really doesn't. And it's
yeah,
like, there's nothing that can get put out there in the media that will bother Katie. Nothing. She's just got
yeah,
no shame about anything, because as long as she's in the media, she's making money.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just look at the state of the behaviour from her when she went to Ibiza with Harvey. Like, she's got herself dressed like a skank, acting even worse than one. She's all over Wayne Lineker, shoving her tits in his face and everything. Like, the whole thing was embarrassing. And that was purely just like so she could upload videos to social media and get herself in the papers. It's purely just all for attention.
Yeah.
It was very weird, that's all I'm going to say.
But she
Yeah.
knew that it'd make headlines everywhere. So she does it for clicks. Everything she does is for clicks. And that's why
I guess it becomes like an addiction, doesn't it? Because like you want your name to be in the paper every day, you want to be spoken about, and you know it's getting you paid. And it like say, even if it is bad, you know, people it actually generates more clicks when it is bad, more than when you're doing good. Like when you're doing good, like people obviously get a little bit bored as such, whereas when it's like, oh my god, what are they going to do next, what's the next outrageous thing, like, oh, waiting for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, you know, that's what keeps the momentum going, which obviously makes me wonder about this whole thing in general, because when I then think about, okay, the proposal, obviously it was copy paste. I had no idea about it at all, like not 1 ounce. I was just sat in Thailand just trying to heal myself and find myself, and then all of a sudden you've got that, and then I think, oh, like, did he do that, or was that planned together, you know? Was that a plan? Like, has this all been like one big stunt, you know? Because like maybe she realized, maybe she did fall in love with him to start, but maybe then she did realize, okay, actually, like, this man isn't what I thought. Maybe he's not like as rich as like she thought, and maybe he can't look after me like he said he could. But and then if it gets public, because I think Lee almost knows that I am one of those people that I will always speak my opinion, always. And it always just sat weird with me that why he done that, and so quick and so soon. And it because they earned money off of it, and then obviously when I started biting back, they were doing more things. So it was almost like a clickbait towards me,
absolutely,
you know, like. And that's my argument against it, because now it leaves me in question about Kate, you know, Kate as well, you know, like, okay, she's trolled me so many times online, you know, she sent me an awful message as well, like, you know, she's publicly announced and like put a massive post up about me, and you know, there's the videos of the video that everyone's wanted to see, which will be played. All of it seems so clickbaity from the day one. It just feels very, very clickbaity. Like, and I don't think any of the public would have ever seen that. And like, I've always seen, like, okay, like, it just seems very odd. Like, okay, now she realized, okay, maybe he's not, but maybe we can still make something of this, because
That's exactly
it's
what I
gonna,
think. That's what I think happened. She's been so desperate to find somebody that can take care of her. That's all she's ever
yeah,
said. So even like when she split up with JJ, was that his name, JJ?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So when she split up with him, she had like a list, didn't she do like a list of, qualities that she wants in a man, which ironically is nothing like Lee.
yeah,
It's the pretend Lee is on our
yeah,
list. But
yeah,
I think that's what she wanted, and I think she genuinely fell for, oh my God, I've met a billionaire. He thinks I'm gorgeous. He's going to fly me out to Dubai. And I think that's why she got married to him so quick without a prenup, because she
and
thought,
when you first meet him, he's so like, and it's intense. And when I say that I can relate to Katie, I think we're similar. I don't think we're similar in like any other way, but I think like we have had our traumas, and we are people that want to be loved and enjoy being loved, and we want to be taken care of and put in our feminine. And I mean, most women do, but where we've had it a little bit tough, and Lee will mirror everything,
yeah, I've
and
noticed that with
he will,
everyone.
yeah, and he will pick out your little flaws and like what affects you and what you've been through, and then he'll do the complete opposite to start. So within a week, you've been so bombarded with messages, video calls, me like, well, for me, meeting up, and then obviously like the sexual side and everything, it just all ties into one, and you're just in this massive dopamine hit that is like, wow, I finally found what I deserve. Like
Yeah,
you think, yeah, like, I deserve this. I've been through so much in life, and this is what you feel like you deserve. And he's so good at that. And like, it actually makes me really emotional. And a lot of people have never seen me very emotional on my podcast, and because I try not to be sad about it, but it is true. Like, and it's sad that like, in a way, I always try and take a positive, that okay, like, yeah, I can fall in love and I can feel like that, and like that's how I want to feel when I'm with my human that maybe might one day come along. But he manipulates you so much, and then he starts doing a lot of wrong things, and he programs your brain into like thinking that you're super powerful, and it's us against the world, and blah blah blah, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna set up this, and it just sounds so amazing.
yeah,
And then like obviously then you get engaged in the Burj Al Arab, and you're like and for me, obviously, where it hadn't happened before, that was massive. Like, and things I still always thought 2 + 2 = 5, but then like I'm then or it's like 1 minute it's so low, and the next minute it's just so high, and everything's so perfect, and you're getting little gifts and flowers and anything that you've said that you like, and the words that you say that you like, and oh, I'll care for you no matter what, and you're talking about buying houses like he has with me, with Katie, with Crystal. And it's so love bombing. And I do think, yes, she fell in love, and it's so hard. No matter what anyone says to you, I've been in that position, which is why I never turned against Kate, because but at the start, obviously, I was like, oh, she's just in the same bubble as I was, because obviously I had Dina, turn around and say he's done this,
yeah,
that, the other, making allegations, that like things had happened. And he's like, oh no, she's a liar, she's a nutter, she's this, she's that, just really bad mouthing her like to the absolute brim. And I was thinking, oh yeah, it's just a bitter ex. And obviously that's what that everyone thought I was, and I wasn't bitter at all. I left Lee. I ran away from Lee after something turned volatile, and it got took to a point where I wouldn't put up with. There's a point where like I knew things were wrong, and there was things that were not in line with what I believe, and like I was trying to please the person that I'd met, and I was so clung on to what that was, and then it's like there was one boundary that got crossed, and then I left, and then obviously like as we've spoken, there's I think he always says that I was a bitter ex, but like in a voice note he's crying and saying like, you've left me again, you've run away, like, we had it all so good, we didn't have it all so good, this is this is the morning after, sorry, the night that things turned really fucking awful.
Yeah.
And like he's trying to basically say that
Manipulate.
how perfect it
Yeah, but
was
he's trying to
and
manipulate
convince
her to
me.
go back. That's basically what he was trying to do. And I think he
Yeah.
manipulates everyone. And one thing I've noticed in the pattern of people that I've seen him contact, especially women. So these women have. So I think he generally talks to a ton of women online and then picks out the ones that he can manipulate. So he looks for, like, ask them about the past and things like that. And the moment that anyone mentions they've got a bit of trauma, I think he knows that that is the person that he can scam.
Yes.
Purely
Yes.
because, so you've got Crystal, she shared early on in their conversations online that she was scammed by another bloke for 200 grand. So straight away, Lee, knew that he could manipulate that. You lost, was it your friend or your boyfriend?
Yeah, I lost my partner. Yeah.
And so he sort of fed off that trauma of yours. Now there was
Yeah,
another,
and mirror and
and mirrored
mirroring.
it, yeah. And there was another
Yeah.
woman that I briefly mentioned on I think I'd done a reel on it at one point, a Scottish woman called Louise. She had
Yeah.
been through trauma in her past relationships and things like that. And Lee mirrored the same thing and like mirrored her life. Like, and he was doing Scottish accents because he said he was Scottish and his whole family's Scottish and things like that. So he tried it with her. Thankfully, she didn't send him any money. And obviously, Katie's Katie. So I think, he did manipulate Katie in the beginning. But the thing is with Katie is like, I do honestly believe that she went into, and the reason why she married him so quick, because she thought that she'd finally got a golden ticket. And I think that's why
Yeah.
she didn't marry him with a prenup, because she thought, oh, well, if it all goes tits up, he's a billionaire. I'll just get
Yeah.
paid, divorce wise. So she probably thought, ka-ching, yeah, marriage made in heaven. However,
Yeah.
he's actually penniless and
Yeah.
she might be the one that's end up paying him. But I do think she fell for it in the beginning. I'm still, by the way, I still don't think that marriage is legal. Like legally
Right.
binding. I honestly don't.
Oh, that brings me to this as well. Another clickbait. So Lee knew that I used to live with a boy called Daryl.
Yeah.
And we shared an apartment together on the Palm, and on the Palm. That sound like Lee.
We've been speaking about Lee for too long.
And like we shared it, but the person who does the ceremony in the marriage, the
Officiant person. The
yeah
officiator.
yeah
Is that
yeah.
what it's called? Officiating.
I actually don't know. That's really bad. I actually don't know. But he used Daryl. Why would he use Daryl? Daryl. That's not what Daryl does, by the way. He's a comedian. He's a comedian. He does like quiz nights in Dubai. He's got his own entertainment company. Like he doesn't, and he got Daryl to do it
Okay.
and put it online, and it was Daryl. And I was like, again, another clickbait thing. Why Daryl? There is like that is genuinely not what he does.
To an event because.
Oh, you disappeared there for a little while.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, so that Daryl, was Lee referring to Daryl? When he was doing that, I'm going to name all these celebrities, and then he mentioned like a DJ. who don't turn up for events or something like that. Was that referring to Daryl by any chance?
I'm not too sure. I don't know.
Because I know that there was a story about a DJ that's based in Dubai, and it was the same person apparently that officiated his wedding. And like to find the
Okay.
post, I don't know, but I didn't know that you knew that person, that
Me and
officiated.
Daryl, we were like very, very close friends. We lived together. You know,
Yeah, so
I
we
only
were
moved
from
out
my
because he got
friend.
a girlfriend and things changed. And like, I was like, oh, you two should live here and I'll like find my own place.
Well, see, this is the thing, and I think Katie got married so quick purely because she really did believe he was a billionaire. So it was like a
Yeah.
home win for her. You know, if the marriage didn't work out, she'd get some money and blah blah blah, or she'd get something out of it. And then I think quickly, once it was announced, because she sold all the wedding photos to the Sun and, you know, whoever else she sold, you know, the story to. So she was making money off it straight away off the bat, just through the publicity. But then I think very quickly, you know, Lee started, you know, getting exposed. And I think from that point, even though she's carried it on for months, I think from that point that she knew that everything about him was fake. Regardless of what she said in the interviews, I think literally within a month or so of getting married, she knew that he was fake. And the reason why I'm saying that is because she was pitching an idea to get a documentary, and this was months ago, of how to scam a scammer. And this was an idea that was pitched to, you know, to try and get like a documentary done. So technically, I do believe that she knew that he was a scammer back then, but she stayed with him. So my issue with that is the fact that she stayed with him. She's accepted flights, she's accepted, you know, expensive gifts, she's accepted, you know, money and, you know, whatever else he's given her. Knowing full well he's a scammer and that he's robbing someone else to pay for all these things for her.
So
Meanwhile, in the background,
it's
she's trying to
weird
get
that like
out of it.
it's weird that you actually say that, because when I had the call with Kate herself, she actually did say like that this was a few days after they got married, and we actually spoke, and she actually said to me, thank you so much, like thank you all you ladies for coming forward, like appreciate you so much. And like I'll just watch, like I'm gonna do a documentary of how to con a con man.
See?
But then that makes me really sad, because in that she has clickbaited me into it and actually bullied me online.
Oh, 100% she has. And she really just doesn't care.
And like she thinks that she's a girl's girl, and you know, and she was with Women's Trust and whatever, and I think they after that I think they removed her from that.
Yeah, and absolutely, it was 100% the right decision. Because the thing is, she abused you online. She said some horrible thing, like that post, you know, that she done. That was the catalyst of getting her dropped by the Women's Trust. But the thing is, though, she was an ambassador for the Women's Trust, you know, because she's been through domestic abuse relationships, and I say that. But then, you know, why doesn't the media talk about the things that she's done to all of her partners? You know what I mean? Everyone. And it just so happens to be, you know, a common occurrence with every single person that she's been with. Apart from JJ, I think JJ was probably the only normal person. And Peter, I don't think Peter was bad either. She just
I'm unsure. I've never really followed her story. Because
no, it's just with everyone. There's always something with everyone. You know what I mean? There's always some sort of drama, and I think she is the catalyst of the drama. Like, she's not innocent as she makes out, you know, that she is. She's really not. And it's just, she's the common denominator with all the drama, and she always tells her story. So it's not the actual story, it's her version of the story, and she's always the victim. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's sad, really. It is sad, because like at first, like obviously, like just wanted good to come out of this and to help someone, and like then for it to all like turn so horrible. But one thing that I am really like glad about is that this has become a thing where people can come forward and are coming forward still, and it's helped a lot of people, and also, like, it's made people speak up of who he is, because he needs to be shut down.
Oh yeah, definitely he does.
Yeah. And I know that there's people that have asked me about my ongoing police case, but obviously where it's with Interpol, and as I think you probably know as well, like Interpol and Dubai do not work together.
No.
So unless Lee was to come back to the UK, like, that's when charges would be dropped, and I can imagine that he's got numerous amounts of. I think even if Lee had his travel ban lifted, he would not leave Dubai, because it's his only safe haven.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's got loads of cases with Interpol from all over the world. All over the world, like Thailand, Berlin, America, you name it, I'm guaranteed there's a case of what Lee's done to scam people. Like, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a case of him leaving Dubai. But I guarantee you, though, when all this goes, tips up with Lee, Katie will be the victim once again. She'll probably say, mirror some of the things that you've said that's happened to you, that it's happened to her, just so, like, it sounds more believable. You know what I mean? Because she'll try and make herself the victim in all of this, when really, from the beginning, she was trying to pitch an idea to how to scam a scammer documentary months and months and months ago, at the beginning of the relationship. And it just so happened as well that I'm just looking at these text messages of what he sent that girl. So he basically says in those messages that his manager and her manager came up with all these ideas. Then we did pictures and videos together early last year after my birthday. I paid her, but it was not completed, and we went our separate ways since then. 25th of January, from nowhere, she starts posting all these photos and videos, and my management, of which he's in Dubai now, starts posting as well, thinking we were finally together. So he basically says that it was all just a fake thing.
I think, but I mean, this is what got sent to me, and like, it all just goes hand in hand, right?
It's just, I don't know. It's all fucked up, really. The pair of them can't be trusted. Neither one of them, Katie and Lee, neither one of them know how to tell the truth. They tell their version of the truth, and you never get a straight answer. Like, Katie will change her story all the time. You know what I mean? It's more.
And the thing is, as well, like, I think, like, obviously when it comes to, like, obviously the other allegations as well, and I've come forward and said stuff on James English's podcast, there's some really sensitive subjects, and I'm not the only one that it's happened to, and I know that there's other people, and I find out that during our relationship, like, I've been finding out that he's been not just sleeping with women but men and young men, and it's just like, it's just,
because he just
pardon?
He's still doing it now.
Yeah. And I find out this, and it's something that obviously can't be spoken about. But it's like, it's so shocking, because, like, it's like when you think that you found out everything, and then you're finding out, okay, and like when I put two and two together, and I think about what he used to come back and do, I'm like, he's obviously just gone and done that to someone else, and then he's role playing it to me like it's a fantasy, but it's not a fantasy. It was actually real life.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you mention about, the boys and things like that, I bet there's a documentary coming up. And when all this thing, because I do believe this whole thing with Lee is going to end. She's not going to stay married to him, because, it's bad for her brand, so to speak. So she won't stay with him because he brings her too much. So she'll let it run its course, basically, to get as much publicity as she wants out of it. And then she, once it's finished, and, she gets all the publicity about the divorce, and there'll be drama surrounding that. And then Lee'll probably try and go nuclear on her, and sell stories about her, which I can't wait for, because, that's going to happen.
Well, then she will do a documentary on a tell-all, or she'll do a new book or something else that she always does. And I guarantee you she will have messages from his phone and his OnlyFans account, which proves that she knew all along that he was messaging men.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how I know, but that is literally what she's going to be using for the documentary. She's going to reveal that she found, and she's going to probably say that after we broke up, I found all these messages on his OnlyFans, but really she's known about it for months. So it just goes to show that it's all just for publicity and what she can get out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. And it's sad and it's sick because like there's been so many victims involved in this, and like it's yeah, like it's just horrendous the fact that you can it just to earn money, that you can actually carry on with someone that you've, like, everyone has come out, and I can imagine that there's people that have actually reached out to her, and it will just be saved for the documentary or for anything that comes out in the future. You know, she might not have said it now or like in the past, but maybe like that's just because that she's that this is her plan all along, and this is why, you know, she has been quite quiet about things, and
She's
like,
just
you know,
getting
I'm going to believe my
information.
husband.
Yeah, she's sitting on it all purely for
Yeah.
this, documentary that's, going to come up. And she'll put it all in there because it'll be like, explosive. And I know that she's going to have messages from Lee to other men, and she's known about it for months, like I said. But there's also there's all other things with it, and it's just, I guarantee you, whatever way this plays out, she's going to be the victim. And I guarantee you, she's going to mirror stories that she's heard from you, that she's heard from Tina. She'll mirror the same sort of thing, so her story seems a little bit more believable. And then she'll probably say that she sent him money and that he promised to pay her back and things like that. She'll just do all this just so she can be the victim in it all, because in every single relationship that she's ever been in, apart from JJ, she's been the victim in it all. You know what I mean?
Which is, it is
It's
really
how she plays
sad
it
way to
off.
be.
But that's it. That's how she makes money. So she doesn't have a business. She doesn't have a business, so to speak, something that makes her money daily. Her whole business is publicity. That's how she makes money. She doesn't do anything else. And I know she records songs every now and again, but I guarantee that doesn't make her any money.
And I just think as well, obviously, with the documentary that came out lately, like, obviously, all of this has got so much publicity that this again stems back to my engagement and their engagement. Like, has this all been planned? Because, like, she thought, you know, this is going to get attention, and this makes, like, it, like, relevant, you know, very relevant, and people are invested, and they want to watch, and they want to know more, and they want to, you know, it's like they know that there's something outrageous happening every week, so like it keeps people clicking on the page, which then obviously then the documentaries come out as well.
Yeah.
Like, again, like, would that have done as well as it did, like, if this whole situation hasn't happened? Like, would so many of people have watched it if it wasn't that she was so relevant at the moment?
Yeah, well, that was the thing, because the whole thing with JJ, she was, she was hardly in she was in the papers, for somewhat or other, and she was still posting on social media, but she wasn't constantly in the media, like every single day. So Katie always knows a way to make herself relevant, whether that be bad or good press. She really doesn't care. Like, she makes money off the fact that her life has been like a car crash. That's what the whole documentary, the recent documentary, the Sky one, was about. Was literally a whole life. So she makes money off it either way. So she's very good at keeping herself in the media and posting clickbait.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you've disappeared. Back again.
Oh,
You disappeared for a little while
or
there.
did I? What did
Yeah.
you hear me say last?
In the media.
Yeah, so basically Katie just knows how to stay in the media. She really does. And as long as she's in the media, she's making money. So she's smart in that sense and she knows how to make money. But
Of course, it's a businesswoman's tactic. The part that I don't agree with is that she's genuinely with someone that is an abuser, that is a narcissist, that is like sexual abuser, financial abuser, mental abuser, physical abuser. He is everything.
that's the thing.
And
Most people draw a
like,
line under things like that, though. Like they'll draw a line.
yes,
So you either want to make money and you'll do it at all costs. And you get people like that in business, completely ruthless. They really don't care. And they
yeah,
make a ton of money. Or then you've
yeah,
got the person who's got a conscience, who does things, you know, above board and things like that.
yeah,
Doesn't make as much money, but you know, as a steady income kind of thing. And I think she's more of the ruthless one, of like she doesn't actually care how or where she gets the money from, as long as she gets the money.
yeah,
And she's
yeah,
willing to stay with someone like Lee and not care, as long as she's making money from it. It's evident in her
yeah.
own actions, because you cannot refute the evidence. And I know she said, oh, I'm going to send Ben over to Dubai and I'm going to get Ben to do a grilling interview. Like, who wants to listen to what he's got to say when everything
I mean, he
comes out
did
of
do
his
that
mouth?
interview, didn't he? He did do the interview with the brown haired guy.
Did he?
You know, okay, you might have to cut this part, but you know the one that you sent me earlier?
Oh, yeah, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about Ben.
Oh, Ben. Oh, yeah,
But
okay,
Katie,
okay.
yeah, so I know, like, Katie said that she's going to send Ben over to Dubai, her friend, to do a grilling interview. Katie's not
Yeah,
going to do the interview. It's going to be your friend Ben, and he's going to grill Lee on everything, and you know, get the truth. It's like the man's fucking incapable of telling the truth. So like it's just pointless. It's just another money making thing that she can put on a social media. Like Lee Andrews, you know, like tells the truth and answers questions. You know what I mean? You can't dismiss the evidence. Fair enough. It
or
was
it will
wrong.
be to prove how many times he lies
So they can
because
use it in the
of,
documentary.
yeah,
Yeah, it's all. She just gathers evidence, and the thing is, though, is that Lee thinks he's very smart, but I think when it
yeah,
comes to things like this, Katie's a lot smarter. Now
a lot smarter.
she mightn't be smart in terms of like intelligence wise, you know, like academic
But
kind
as
of
a
thing. But
businesswoman
as a
and
businesswoman,
knowing,
I would hold
yeah,
my hands up and say she's very smart, knows
yeah.
exactly how to make money in the industry that she's in.
What I always found weird is why has she not pulled me in and come into a room with me and looked at my evidence?
Because she doesn't care, she already knows. But the thing is, I've put
Yeah.
quite a lot out, and you cannot deny the evidence. You can't.
And
You
like
can't
that's what I
say it's
mean. But
fake.
if she actually was in this for the right reasons, you would want to, like, if someone said that about my partner and like I was in it for the right reasons, I would want full proof.
1,000%. And we're talking about, this isn't after like you've been with this person for 6 months and these people are coming out. This is within days of it going public that she's married him or that she was engaged. You'd spoke
Yeah.
out because you unknowingly had your engagement picture plastered on the front of the Sun newspaper. And that's how you
Yeah.
found out about it. But
Yeah.
instantly, if you've married someone, it's like when, you know, if your best mate comes and she's met this new guy, you go to a bar and you meet him and you get like an off feeling, and then you find out something, you know, about him that doesn't sound quite right. Instantly, then you tell, you know, when you find out about it, you look deeper into it, see if there's any proof, and you know, then you stay away from them. But the thing is,
Yeah.
Katie was hit with all these things, and not just from you, but from the Sun. Journalists were exposing him left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
There was other people coming forward, you know, like, and straight away from the get go, Lee was exposed as a scammer. So
Yeah.
at that point, she knew within a week of marrying him
or I would even say the engagement. I don't know how
Yeah, it
long
was
she
the
had been
engagement.
engaged.
It was the engagement. Because straight away, like, I think after the engagement, I'd been on the phone to her probably like 5 days after.
Yeah, and I think she just went through with it anyway because she knew it would make her money.
And the day that like we had the conversation, it was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to do this documentary, How to Con a Con Man. The next day, she flew out to see him.
Yeah. Well, I already knew about that anyway because I got a phone call to say, they said to me though, how to scam a scammer. That's how it was
Yeah,
pitched.
yeah,
Or how I scammed the scammer. Something along
yeah,
those lines. That's what it was. And I was like, are you joking? And this was months ago. Months and months
yeah,
ago. So that's what's really annoyed me with it. And that's why, like, I'm kind of like done with it. Because you're just willing to stay with this person purely to gather more evidence for this documentary that you're eventually going to do. But meanwhile, staying with him and using the money that that he's ruining people's lives, take him. Because that's what
yeah,
he's doing. He's ruining people's lives by
yeah.
taking money from them. And he doesn't care if you lose your house, you lose your car, you're sleeping on the streets. He doesn't care because he just moves on to the next victim and does exactly the same to them. And then
Like I
again
said,
and
he's
again and
done it to
again.
his own dad. So,
Exactly, he's done it to his own dad. He's got no conscience and he'll keep doing it. But for the fact that Katie knows all this and she's still staying with him and expecting and accepting gifts off him and getting a flight paid, first class flights to and from Dubai, it's gross. She's gross.
yeah,
Honestly, it's just
yeah. It is.
it
It's
really is
not. It's
disgusting.
not. It is not a good look.
Right, come on. Let's get to the voice notes of the two women from this year because I've been dying to listen to them.
Okay. So this is the next lady.
I think you're very much mistaken. My company's in fully fledged with liability and authorised capital. I don't know what you're looking at there. There's no striking off at all. Anyway, you're entitled to your opinion. The opinion is it's the least important of my worries right now, which I don't have. And it's the lowest form of intelligence. You and I are better than that. I don't get you. Of course, I will return it, as I said. Okay, I've got bigger things at the moment, but I will definitely make sure this is returned to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you do threaten me one more time with the police, I'll also be making a case against you, especially when you've called me a scam, which I've actually taken a screenshot of. So we do not do that to each other. It's not right. There's a way out of this and way to solve it. You don't go making accusations like that. It's not good. We can both do that, very easily. Please stop threatening me with the police over 4,000 germs. I'll send it to you, like I said. It's not cool what you're doing. I don't know what you've heard and what you've read, but I've got one ex-girlfriend that's given me so many problems and telling lies about me, spreading lies about me. I'm a very healthy gentleman with real things going on. So please, for 4,000 germs, it's not worth the headache. So I expected more from you from that. I don't know what the problem is, what you've got going on. I said I'd return it and it will be returned within today, okay? Maximum by tomorrow morning. So please just let me just do that for you. Okay, I've got a lot of things going on and I'll get it to you. I'll place it into your account. Send me your account details directly again and I'll make sure that the cash goes into your account. Thank you. I don't know where the scam comes from. That's not cool that you're
It's
writing
not
that to me.
cool at all.
Did you hear what he said? He couldn't even say headache properly.
Had
Instead of saying headache, he says headache. But it sounds like he's saying haddock as in the fish. He doesn't say headache.
which actually still is not the name.
Yeah, no, because he was saying that it's only 4,000 dirhams. Like, it's not worth, the headache, because he's trying to say that he's not a scam.
Yeah. God.
And then he said it's only 4,000 dirhams. It's literally the amount is not even worth the headache, but he says headache instead. But it sounds like he's saying haddock.
It's mad that he's actually going he's actually getting annoyed at her because he has scammed her. And this lady, she done her research into Lee and then had realised that she had actually got in touch with the BVI, which is where this came from. And she had said to me, like, I'd done some research and I noticed that his company had been closed, in November 2023 or 4. And she sent me the screenshot of the BVI thing, like a company's house kind of vibe. And it said that it was dissolved, a few years ago. And that's what she had invested into. And then she pulled him up on it. And yeah, there's a lot of documentation on the messages.
I can see the message there. So she's obviously asking. So in the end of February this year,
Yeah,
I can see her asking him for. So she's like, this is really becoming quite annoying.
yeah,
So she's obviously chasing him, for his money.
yeah, yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going to the police tomorrow to report you. So that's what he must mean on the messages, because she's threatened to go to the police.
Yeah, so she actually took it to the police and actually opened up a case.
Nice.
And yeah, so that got done. But I mean, it's just it's the confidence that he has behind it. Like she's literally she's pulled him up and said and shown him the evidence, and he's like, I don't know what the big deal is. Well, the big deal is that you have sent he sent her so much documentation about Aura,
See it all now.
yeah,
It's literally so fake certificates, classification of shares. Oh, MOA, attested and notarized. He loves that bloody saying. And when he says it again in the message, all attested and notarized items containing all the information above, including verification.
yeah.
And then it's like board of resolution and directors in power with memorandum or association articles. He just chats wham constantly. And he sends her a message like, thank you, and please let me know with regards to your friend. Many thanks, and the share search will be issued for you tonight. And then sends her a message with a pointy hand. You are the best. Who does that? This is like a business deal. He's supposed to be a professional, and he's sending stars and images like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does it to absolutely everyone. I
He
mean,
is a creep.
he even sends he sent me screenshots that we will show, but of who he talks to on his WhatsApp to tell me how special I was, that I got a message back, and he even used to send those sort of emojis to Pablo Escobar's son apparently.
Oh yeah, of course he did, and I messaged Beyonce as well.
Yeah.